What's up, brother?
Peace, peace. What's good, Ronak? You hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. You're good. You're good.
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Good. Are you in the bucket right now?
Yeah, we in the bucket chilling.
You filming a music video in the bucket right now?
Yeah, we're going
That's
live. We're
dope.
going live.
That's dope. Much love, man.
I wanted to start today, brother, just by saying thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today and for coming on krylonTalk.
Hey, I'm honored to be on there, man. That's one of the best eras ever. You know what I mean? And it doesn't need to be, out of the light. So, yeah, that's true. Thank you, man.
Definitely. I started krylonTalk, brother, just to let people know, like new generation or even anybody in general that loves graffiti or anybody that just tunes in and checks me out. That
Yeah.
there's been people out here painting graffiti for quite some while. We got some pioneers, we got some
hmm
established artists like yourself out here, and it's a lifestyle. A lot of people just see graffiti on the wall and just be like, "Oh, that's cool," or "Oh, they don't like it," but they don't seem to understand that some people out here are really living this, and
Yeah,
it's really something
I agree.
that people really live for. I wanted to start today. Um, just if you could give me a little bit about, around what year that you start painting and what utensils were you using when you started?
Well, the first stuff I ever really used was probably obviously like Marks-a-Lots. They were cheap, they were available. Pens, regular pens, and stuff like that. And we're talking as a kid, like elementary, junior high school, stuff like that. That was the first stuff. I didn't touch cans until uh, maybe junior high, something like that. They let me buy cans at this one spot that was closing down, this auto parts store, and I bought two cans. It was a black one and a red one, and I don't even know how I got the money. I must have had it. It must have been they were going out of business, so it was probably like $2. You know, and yeah, that's the first stuff I remember really using. It was a lot of sketching and stuff like that first, and it was
Dope.
before Krylon. Like my first piece wasn't even full Krylon. My first piece was with Zeno at Euclid, and this was like '88, and there was Xylenite. I remember the hardware store having these dope colors, and getting to the wall, and he was kind of like putting me on game about Krylon. He was like, "Yo, man, those colors are dope, but they're mad watery," and he kind of showed me that how to go in. So I was like, "All right." So that's what I was using. My first piece was Xylenite. Wasn't even Krylon. I think I might have had a semi-flat black for the outline, and that might have been it. And that was at Euclid Pit in like '88. You know.
Dope. Can you share a little bit about how you took it when a spray can, for was actually made for graffiti by graffiti artists, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Montana that brought it out first. How did you feel about that? Did you enjoy the can, or did you just it just pain to you?
I could definitely tell the difference between, the first four writers spray paint, because Krylon wasn't for writers, and still to this day they do not support uh, graph writers or whatever the word is, or vandalism or street artists or whatever they want to use. They changed the valve system, and it's definitely the cap system's different. They don't use Lindell valves anymore, which is a standard in the market. Everybody uses Lindell valves, but the first spray paint I ever thought was oh gosh, I can't even think of them right now. It was from Europe, and it was like a green can, and it had like jungle green, which wasn't jungle green to them. It was something. It was I forgot what it was called, but I might have a can of those around there. But when I first used like an imported can from a company that made it for writers, it was like, in the hoopty, and then all of a sudden, winning the lottery and getting a brand new Cadillac. It just laid on so smooth, You didn't have to do anything. It didn't drip. You know what I mean? Without it, it's like using Belton or something like that. You know,
Definitely.
I forgot the
Krylon,
name of it, what it was, but yeah, it was definitely from Europe for sure. And yeah, I've been to the Montana factory, the real MTN, like the one in Spain, the one out of Barcelona, and you see them actually putting the cans together and spraying the donuts. There's like a viejito in there, like spraying the donuts, and a bunch of tias like putting together all the paint. And it was mind opening just to see how everything is still like made by hand out there in the factory, and getting the story about the different Montanas and all that stuff. It was really interesting to actually go to the source, and I was real grateful for that. So big shouts out to Copy, for showing me that. He was one of the original dudes. It was Copy and Mookie. They had a shop called The Bunker in Barcelona. And, he kind of told me the story about this guy that used to work for a company called Felton or Felton or however they pronounced it, but how he kind of linked up with them, and he realized, a majority of the sales on our spray paint is from you guys. Why don't we just give you guys what you want? And I think he approached the company. They told him no, or something like that. So he was just like, I'm just doing it. I'm just going to start a company. And that's how we have Original Montana. And I know there's rumors out there that, it was named after two dogs or something like that. But the dude, it's funny because I saw those dogs. There's two dogs, and they guard this little this gated area or whatever. I forgot what's in there, but one's name's Mon and the other name is Tana. Mon and Tana. There's two dogs named Montana, so they think it was based off that. But no, he found those dogs. They were abandoned dogs out there in Spain, and I think he was like an avid mountain climber or something like that, and that's why I think he went with Montana.
that's dope. I didn't know that. It's the first time you're hearing that.
Yeah, and that's from my man Copy. So he kind of was there. So they ran up to him, and he picked the original colors. Him and Mookie, they picked the original Montana colors from what I was told. Because they had the first hip hop shop in Barcelona called The Bunker, and I went there one day, and they were actually closed. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know about Siesta. I didn't know what that was. I was like, whatever, let's just go to the shop, get some paint. And I had to wait like an hour or something like that before, the whole city shuts down, man, like at lunchtime. Like, that's no joke. Like, the Siesta thing is real, So, but it's definitely a mind-opening experience, Shouts out to Fever. What's good? What's good? Rubik's, what's good?
Yeah, thank you for tapping in. Did Krylon being so popular back in when it was coming up, did it take effect on you, knowing that didn't support graffiti or graffiti writers?
It kind of busted my bubble a little bit because, and I got to be honest with you, Cats was racking it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you were racking it. And that's the thing. Like, in Cats, when they started getting smart and putting in, all the, the gates and everything, and you had to, like, drop them and try to drop them on your foot or your shoe so that you didn't make noise, like sliding it down, and then there was little gaps you could fit to get through the racks in Home Depots or whatever. But it was still a staple for me. Like, even that whole time, like when Cats was hitting Rusto, I couldn't do it. It was different. The cans I used, the paint's amazing. Rusto's dope. And I still, like, last year painted a canvas with that shit. But back then, when I pressed on the valve, when I pressed on the tip, there would be like a little bit of air that came out, and I couldn't cut with that. Like, what am I going to do? Have some empty air, and then all of a sudden all this paint comes out? So it was more controllable with Krylon. And it was more of a legacy too. Like, the colors were dope. When they started getting rid of colors, and Cats was putting me up on, like, Spanish browns and OD khakis and stuff like that. That stuff was hard to get. Like, burgundy was hard to get. You know what I mean? It was aqua turquoise before it was teal green. That was a big thing. So you kind of got stuck with Jay Greens rose, mauve, top, or taupe. I don't know how they pronounce it. You were stuck with those, so a lot of cats will go in just on those colors. So your fillings were all those like earth tones and stuff like that, and then you would hit like a banner, American Beauty, True Blue, and then semi. Some cats would use gloss or whatever, but I like semi. Semi flat black was the best for me. I
Yeah.
was taught that way. I was taught, from my mentor, from my boys, my teacher, that's what they use. So semi flat black, it didn't overspray as much and it didn't run. If you use ultra flat and the outside, that's more for bombing, right? Like ultra flat black
Definitely.
was the best, but it was for bombing because it covered everything. You're not gonna outline your piece with it. You know what I mean? So, and then I did a couple pieces with gloss black, and I did notice that it ran heavy, like it ran a lot more. So you had to be faster, and it was a high pressure paint, so you're gonna overspray and stuff like that. But yeah, Krylon, come on, man, that was the best. You know what I mean? Like still
Mhm.
to this day, it's a
Yeah,
really good paint. You
I
know,
started back in '05, and I was lucky enough to still have some Krylons laying around, and there was a
nice.
local hardware store, and we will go get them. But then they started coming out with a calligraphy tip. It was like a blue tip
Yeah,
that was on top
it
of
was
the
a fan
can.
tip. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
Dutch Boy and all that stuff used that same tip.
It was cool for
Yeah,
tags, but when it came to piecing or like throwing up like bombs,
yeah,
it
no,
wasn't really as effective
hell
as
no. I was still using Krylon like when you wouldn't even, when all the Montana and stuff came out. Like I was
that's
still using Krylon, like for real. Like I was outlining my pieces. You know what I mean? When they towards the very end before they got rid of the valve, and then shoot, I was even using Valspar. I was even using adapters, all that other stuff. You know what I mean? But
yeah. I mean,
yeah, but
so
go ahead.
some of the Montana cans when they barely came out. I mean, from my experience, they were pricey, brother. They were like I think like
Yeah,
$5 a can.
and you couldn't rack them because
It's impossible.
hardware stores and big box stores weren't carrying that stuff. It was either hip hop shops or places like that. You don't want to steal from the homies,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
you couldn't rack that. Right? And I was
Definitely.
using so back then when I first started getting schooled by Zeno, we had standard brands. So we would go to standard brands and they had cans there that were like 90 cents or 98 cents or something like that. And everybody will know the standard brands right there on 16. So with Zeno, he would go in there and be like, yo, we're gonna buy a couple, rack a couple, you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
dollar, so what? We'd go in there and buy like, we'd have $20 and we'd be able to paint that day. So we will go in, buy either silvers or whites, because that's the only paint that you could use that would cover. You know what I mean? With silvers or whites. And then you will buy a Krylon in white just to cut back. You know what I mean? And then use the
Yeah.
Krylon for your outline color. So that's kind of how it went down is you'd lay everything out, with your white or your silver. Because back then, during that time, you weren't rolling your pieces out. You weren't rolling your backgrounds out. You know what I mean? You were just kind of going over tags and pieces that just got demolished. You know what I mean? You would just wait until somebody hit a tag in the 3D, then all of a sudden give that piece like about a couple more days, and the whole thing will be dissed. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how it was in the day. Everybody was still in there, like, there was OGs back then that really took their time and showed me the proper way to paint, and I'm grateful for that to this day because I can tell if a writer's been properly trained. You know what I mean? Because they were kind of rough on me, being a youngster and being how older cats are. But at the end of the day, I'm stronger because of it. And then all of a sudden, I meet these cats, top of the food chain out here, being on a world level, and show
going on?
The structure of it. You
Sorry
feel
about
me?
that. You broke up for like 10 seconds. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear
Oh,
you.
okay. Yeah, I just wanted to let you know I couldn't see or hear anything.
Oh, okay. You good now?
Yeah, I'm good.
So yeah, being Krylon Days is a crucial day, because any DJ that ever like started off with belt drive, they're an amazing DJ now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you started off with Krylon and you were able to catch that drip and you were able, to do clean pieces, then you're ill now. You know what I mean? Like Montanas or Beltons or 94s or whatever kind of pressure you're dealing with or what kind of paint is different, So I think I'm real grateful for that, for them to really, I remember a time being in the yards, especially during the Krylon days, and, it's just getting reefered and, you know, not really talking the talk as much as I should have, you know what I mean? Or walking the walk as much as I should have. And I did a piece one day, 33rd, and I brought Zeno down there, and he just kind of looked at me, and he was like, nah. I was like, what do you mean? Like, it's perfect. This is what you're teaching me. Every portion, everything is leaning the right way, And he's like, yeah, but it's a 2-color piece. And I was like, yeah. He's like, the first piece we painted was a full color piece just to get it out the way. And now you're showing me these 2-color pieces. And he basically stopped me, looked me dead in my face and said, look, you should be a lot better than this. You've been painting a long studying under me. You're making me look bad. And I was like, yo, once that day happened, it hurt. But, I had to step my game up, So I was just drawing a lot, painting a lot, drawing a lot, painting a lot since then. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was rough. But they schooled me correctly. So once you've been through that, you could look at other people's piece and see the bones. You can see through it and see how they came up with, Like if you have a good lawn, you could look at somebody's and, see if their lawn's taken care of because you know the work. Legs was good. Marilos in the house. Crazy Legs was good. So
Is that
but
Crazy
yeah,
Legs,
that
the dancer?
yeah, he's right there. You don't see him on the thing?
Oh,
Yo,
shit.
Legs, shouts out.
What up,
Yo,
Crazy Legs? I'm a
Legs and
fan.
me. Yo, Legs and me got the same birthday, B. You know what I'm saying? For real.
What up,
Yo,
Crazy Legs?
we was in the Real World Suite, man. We was out there in Vegas at the Real World Suite playing pool. You know what I mean? I was nice with it back then, but yo, people don't know. Like he got hands, B. He got hands and he got wheels too. You ever try to race Legs? Yo, he was smoky Legs, dude. He's not just for like that. Yo, Legs got wheels. Trust. You know what I mean? Yeah,
There
that
was
was
something
good
that there was
times in
something I
Vegas, man.
wanted to, there was something I wanted to touch in with you today, brother. You being from San Diego, can you share a little bit about San Diego graffiti? Can you hear me?
Yo, people don't know. I mean, yeah, it's like a border town, stuff like that. But we tried harder, and a lot of stuff like even Legs and Doze and everybody that was here. Like Doze was here in '84. He was working for Bad Boy Club, and that's a lot of the upper echelon of this writing game. You know what I mean? Like, he painted the Life's a Beach store, and he came down here and he put some cats down with IBM in '84. I remember seeing him at a trade show, and he had, I don't know how many Zulu medallions he had on. He had African medallions, Zulu medallions. He had the big top hat, like like kickwear. He looked like kickwear and stuff like that. And, I went like this, just that's it. I went like this. I was a kid, B. Like, I was like 15 years old. And he's a grown-ass man, like, coming up to me like, yo, what's up? Doze, IBM, what's good, And I was like, yo, you're the dude that painted the shop by my cousin's house. I got my first skateboard from there, Steve Albo. Santa Cruz, Steve Albo. My cousin got it from me for my birthday. But people don't understand, like we really, really had to try harder. You know what I mean? Like, we're not Like out here, cats wouldn't be impressed at all. You know what I mean? They show off. They're like, I'm not impressed. I'll show off. I'm better than you. Like I used to sit out front of the behind the post office during trade shows because I knew a lot of out of town dudes would be there, and I would just mad dog dudes, and people would think I'm a fool, but because I was a young fool, but I had to do that. I'd had to go to the B-Boy Summit the night before and bomb that shit. Like I had to. Maybe not, not during the event, but the night before. Like I know that people were out there. Like I was always told by Zoe that you have to defend your city. What's going to happen if, let's say, Orange County or LA or San Francisco come down to your city and they take out your best? Like, how are you going to walk? How are you going to walk with your head up high? You have to defend it, And that's just what it is. A lot of people think, oh, it's nice. Ooh, you got SeaWorld, all that. Yeah. Past that, it's all hood. Trust me. You know what I'm saying?
Can you hear me good?
What happened? Yeah, I got you.
Can you hear me good?
I got you.
Oh, it's on my end.
You're still there.
Yeah, my end, you're breaking up. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Oh, no, you're right there. You're right there in the... So it's been kind of... It had to be. It had to be. Like, it had to be, that made me try harder. Draw, like fill up pages and pages and pages and books and books and books, getting things wrong. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. Like a lot of cats are biting and stuff like that. That didn't just happen. You know what I mean? Like they prepared for that. They prepared years and years and years, being toy. You know what I mean? Until all of a sudden, like they're kings of the game. Straight up. You know what I mean? And the reason being is they're not asking for more. Like they're going in, they figured it out. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. It's preparation, man. You can't front on nobody. You know what I mean? That didn't prepare. You know what I mean? Just like with legs. You don't just win Golden Gloves unprepared. You know what I mean? You don't win Battle of the Year or whatever it is unprepared. Every time you go out, that's your best piece. I mean, you have on days or off days. You know what I mean? And with me,
you really want it, you need to go get it, man. If you really want it,
yeah, you have to.
Ready.
Like for you, when you're out there and you're versus, right? You just ride them and spit them and asking for nobody's permission. So that's just how it is. You can't mess with somebody that's grinding, and then every time they go out, they deliver.
Hey, brother, I just want to take a quick pause because the connection keeps breaking up. I really can't hear what you're saying. I'm trying to fix it.
Okay.
Give me a second. I don't know what's going on because
all right.
I'm gonna have a problem, but it keeps breaking up. Are we good on your end?
Yeah, man, I can hear you.
Can you hear me good on your end?
Yeah, man. We're in the booth right now. You sound like you're in the booth.
No, I'm just trying to get it good because it keeps breaking up. I don't know why. But we good? You can hear me good?
I can hear you great, yeah.
All right, great.
I think we're gonna have to put Wi-Fi in the hoopty, man. Right? You be the hoopty, you're gonna be a moving mobile hotspot. You know what I mean?
I'm about to pull up to the fucking spot and charge people to connect to my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Big shout to Marilos. Yo, Mary 139, man, what you? You know what I mean? With Zodak. Big Zodak said what up too. So shouts out to Rubik's, man. Yeah, it says it's on my end. The video's choppy. Is it still choppy or what?
No, it's been choppy there for a couple seconds and then you come back. I'm just trying to see if I can anything I could do to fix it. But we're all right. We should be good. Another thing I wanted to get into, brother. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's a little stutter, but yeah. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
You got me?
Another topic, topic that I wanted to touch is there's two terms that have been used in the graffiti world for quite some time now, and I wanted to see if I could get your take on those two terms. One being toy, and the other being capping.
Toy and Cappy?
Yes, sir.
Yo, yo, man, I hate to say it, man, but nowadays it's different, right? You can't be a toy. Like, you're born good, you know what I mean? Because of the social media. But back then, when you're a toy, it's rough, but it's an older dude or a better dude kind of putting you in your place. You know what I mean? And you kind of, you know, how are you gonna know you're not a toy? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of part of the game. Like, nowadays, you had to earn. I mean, back then you had to earn, you know, your status or whatever in the game. And it's some older dude coming at you saying, nah, you're not ready. You're not ready to be on the street. Stick to paper, or stick to your garage or your backyard, or stick to the pits. You know what I mean? Don't go on the streets. I've seen it, B. I've seen dudes. Like, it was yesterday. I seen this dude, you know, he put a tag up and he didn't have the nice cap and he had a brown, you know what I mean? He was like
Yeah.
some stuff that he found in his garage or something, or his pop's garage. And he went out and he tried to write, and it was just ill. You know, it wasn't nice. And then I seen this older dude, this cat that was king. He was king at the time. Straight up. Big shouts out, you know, to host at the time. And he had went over this cat. I'm not gonna name the cat, but he wrote over his name, B, and he wrote toy in big letters, and he put his name, like, you know, he put his name. He was like, yeah, I'm calling you a toy. And then yo, man, you fast forward a couple years later, dude, and that dude he crossed out, real talk, ended up being a king. Like, straight up all city king. You know what I mean? Like, it took that much, you know, pain or whatever to make him strong, and that's what it was. You know what I mean? Like, it's just how it is. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
as a kid, that's how I used to take it, brother. Like when fools that I used to look up to would go over my stuff, or just slash me and put their name, like
yeah,
I would just embrace it and tell
yep,
myself I'm coming back twice as hard.
exactly. You have to
And there'll
use
be
it as
times,
fuel.
where I catch them doing it. You know, I'll catch them doing it, and it'll be like I'll try to be like, hey man, what's going on? And some cats will like tell you the truth that you're whack, and you
Yeah,
gotta embrace it. But
yo.
there's some other guys that try to fight and get all kinds of crazy stuff like that, and it's like it escalates from one second to another.
Well, I look at it like this, man. I look at it like this, man. If you're not nice at the piano, you know, I don't want to see you on stage playing the piano if I have to sit there and pay to watch you. You know what I mean? Like, if you haven't paid your dues, like, for real, you know? Like, a lot of times you go to these shows and stuff, you don't want to see the opening act sometimes. You're just like, I'm here to see Nas, or I'm here to see, you know, whoever. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That's true. Like, and it's sad, you know, for the most part, because a lot of dudes, like, if I had to put you, you know, compare it to live shows or something like that, like, the Apollo was rough. Like, if you ever watched the Apollo, them cats would throw people off stage and just, like, you're not nice, you know? So it took a lot for you to be good. If you made it at the Apollo, you were good. You know what I mean? Like, if you made it on commercial out here back in the day, like, you were good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people didn't go over you, because there was a lot of gangs at the time. There was a lot of writers and a lot of gangs, and it was just chaos. But if you rode, you rode. Like, my city is considered America's finest city. That's what every cop car has on the side of it, you know? Besides protect and serve, it says America's finest city on it, right? So we buff a lot. Like, we really care about tourism, and we care about how our city's perceived. So, you know, for cats to run in sneaky spots, you got to be smart. You know, you can't just hit straight on the freeway and all that. You got to hit right off, you know, on the sides of the freeway so it runs for a while. Or, you know, you just got to be smarter to survive, you know. Cats hit curbs because they don't buff curbs, I guess, or they hit smaller tags like 2-letter names or 3-letter names or just only crews, and that's how you live. That's how you survive in the game. Like capping is different. Capping is kind of personal. It's not about if you're a toy or not or something like that. But yeah, there's certain people at the end of the day realize, yo, it's illegal. You know what I mean? The game is illegal. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's kind of like being out there, right?
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
you're in a war zone sometimes. It's not glory. Like all those dudes that you see on the top, man, they paid their dues. They're there for a reason. You know what I mean? Like the kings that are kings. You walk down the street and you want, me as a grown ass man, yo, sign my sketchbook. Do you know who that is? He look like a regular dude to me. No, he's not. You know what I mean? That's a king right there. So
And
I
your
don't
point of
know.
view, and your point of view, brother, how do you feel Crew B should be taken care of?
Well, see, that's the thing is I get caught up in a lot of it, and I try my best to smooth it all out. And there's stuff I can't smooth out, but I'm gonna try. You know what I mean? And I might get looked at as like an old head or whatever because I'm from a days where it didn't go down like that too much. That was more gang shit. Like
Yeah,
if I was a writer in my town, let's link, let's go paint. If you're a writer from New York, let's link, let's go paint. Like you guys are brothers. You guys share a common interest. So it's funny because I know dudes from this crew that got beef with this crew, but they still listen to the same music and they eat the same restaurants and they wear Vans. You know what I mean? The same Vans, and they still wear 501s and they still wear the same. Like they're pulling from the same resources, but it'd be just so much better, if cats work together. But the reality of it, it's not like that. Cats got beef because of that. A lot of times they got beef because of the similarities, because they look the same. You know what I mean? Some cats got beef with other cats that have the same last name. They're you know what I mean? But they hate each other probably because of that, because they feel it's threatened or something like that. And a lot of times it comes from not being prepared, not being good enough. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
a lot of cats within the crews, they feel that it's their job to be a henchman. You know what I mean? It's their job to go out and put in work, whereas more skilled, or they develop their talent. You know what I mean? So there's kind of a different pecking order within crews. But you got to understand, like the crews I'm with, everybody's over 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like we're all grown. So it's kind of like, yo, you got beef with that dude? You shouldn't worry about your kids, B. You know what I mean? Like, why are you worried about that? Don't you got work tomorrow? Like, and that's how it is. It realistically, it's a big deal, and it's sad because, you're dodging that, and it's in your mind all the time, and a lot of younger cats are always trying to prove themselves to the older cats. That's just how it is, even in the wild, So when you're in the yard and there's these cats, they're not going to be like, oh shoot, that's such and such. Let me get your autograph. It's like, nah. Like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. You're good. You're a legend and all, but they don't care about that nowadays. So I don't know. I try to keep people together, like I try to work with these kids in juvenile hall. We can't do it right now, but because of COVID, but we
Yeah.
go in there and some of these cats, man, these kids, dude, like in juvenile hall, man, really good kids. And the artistic talent in some of these kids, bro, is
It's
amazing.
amazing.
Yo,
It's
they show me
amazing,
their
bro.
black books and I'm just like, yo, I can't even do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yo, big shouts out. Can't even really say their name. Seeing the cells, they painted their cells and stuff like that. They were able to paint them and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, this isn't real. Like you projected that, or you transferred it. No, they did it all by hand. And I'm talking like logos, perfect, perfect, perfect. And some of these kids, I hate to say it, man, but they're looking at 25. They're looking at life. And they're 16, 17. You know what I mean? And I just go in there and show them how to paint the walls, and kind of as a distraction to what it's like in there. But it's so sad. I'm like, yo, you're doing top notch work. You could be at Powwow Hawaii or Powwow Rotterdam or something like that. But I don't want to keep bringing it up to them. You know. but they're really
Yeah,
talented, you know.
and my experience, brother, it's just been quite misunderstood. You know, there'd be situations where sometimes you feel like they're trying to take it to more of a gang banging attitude
Yeah.
rather than just living the graph life, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, the thing is you see it and I see it, and we can't see past our block. You know, we can't see past, you know, our block or our part of town. You know, we're not really worried about what's going on, you know, up in LA or up in Orange County or New York or in Barcelona. And I think what's need to happen is they need the eyes to see that. They need to go and get that passport and go out there and go see trains in Rome. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
they're bombing trains together and taking over lines completely. Like it's ridiculous. Oh my God, it's gross. Like, but it's dope, you know? And when you see that, you know, there's not a lot of people that leave the city, you know? Like I remember when cats would be like, yo, we're going to Vancouver. And I'm like, whoa, or we're going to San Francisco. Whoa. You know, I remember being a kid and hopefully, you know, I mean, gratefully, I jumped in a van when a lot of cats were leaving up to Oregon for Wall Brawl. I forgot what year, but I remember I was a kid, you know, so it was like 92, I think. There was no sellout, so 92. You know, they had the van out front, and I just hopped in. And we went and we drove all the way up to Oregon and we painted. And that alone brought me like, yo, there's more than just my block. You know what I mean? There's more than just my neighborhood, and I'm not cool with that anymore. Like I'm not satisfied with just getting up on my block or my bus bench or, you know, whatever, hitting commercial, you know, painting Euclid. Like there's a world out there, and I really wanted to see that. So, you know, big shouts out to Slick, you know, for really opening my eyes on a lot of stuff too. You know, we had just painted in Okinawa, Japan last year, and it was amazing. It was a beautiful trip, and you know, like I said, I painted twice in Barcelona. You know, I painted in Copenhagen, Denmark, Melmore, Sweden. You know what I mean? Like we're out there painting crazy abandoned spot. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to snitch myself out, but
yeah.
we're painting murals. You know what I mean? Like we painted a 3-story out there.
No,
You know what I mean?
and I personally want to give you the thanks for sharing that because I hope that someone else is listening that they could really digest this and understand that there's more. You could do more than what you think. There's more than just a bomb yard. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
You could bring an income. You could build a portfolio. You could be so much with your graph. And I hope that someone's listening out there understands that and takes the initiative to chase it.
I
Because
agree.
if you really want it, if you really want it, brother, chase it. You know what I mean? Go get it.
Exactly. Yep.
Sometimes you gotta do some work for free, but that's how you build portfolios. Once you start building that portfolio, and then you just start expanding, it'll take off.
Exactly. You have to have a plan. That's the biggest thing,
Definitely.
man. You got to have a plan. You know what I mean? Like you got like I don't do it with anybody. You know what I mean? Like when I put my book out, I put it out. Like I took all my you know, I'm like, what do I need to do to get this done? You know, I had a lot of photos in my phone, and a lot of them were low res. You know what I mean? So I had to make the book, you know, 9x6 or whatever, 6x9, and put it out. And that's how it was. I put out 100 pages. I'm gonna put out 200. You know what I'm gonna put out? You know what I mean? You got to just have a plan because your days here are numbered for sure. You know,
Definitely.
and you know you gotta be like, yo, man, it made a difference. Like I met this cat, you know what I mean, and he kind of changed my perspective. You know what I mean? Just like how Zeno did with me and Zodak did with me and Dies and everybody and all the APS crew was super influential to me. Like you wouldn't imagine, you know, with Doze and everybody. And then, you know, Slick too has like, you know, put me on the map heavy. And that's my brother, you know. So, you know, big shouts out there for people that changed my perspective and giving me plans and being brutally honest with me. And that's the thing we don't have is people is like, yo, man, you hot. You know what I mean? But I like the cats that be like, yo, man, this part right here is hard. You know what I mean? Like I get the most growth out of that. Like when I deal with galleries and I'm sitting there, like before we go any further, I tell them I need brutal honesty. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to waste your time, and please, I don't want to waste mine. You know, I'm not that young no more. You know what I mean? So I need to get it in. And I tell these galleries, like, yo, what are you looking for? You know what I mean? If you know, because I don't want your time. It's a lot of the pressure. You know what I mean? When you break the ice and you're like, look, can you do this? Or not, you know, and then we just move on. But you got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you get lost. And that's the thing, man. I got cats, you know, that I was walking by the beach the other day. I saw a cat. He just got out from doing 4, and then he just got out of doing 7 over some nothing. You know what I mean? Like nothing. And I'm like, yo, man, life is short. You know what I mean? Like, you just get out. Your kids got kids now. You're a grandfather now. And I'm like, yo, it's time. Time is short, and you got to utilize your time. And if you have a plan, you know, it really gets things going. Like, you can't just sit there and freestyle a video, right? When you make your music videos, you can't just freestyle it. You have to have a vision, right? And you have to let yourself dream. You know, you got to have time for that. You got to be like, tonight I'm just dreaming. Like Sunday, whatever, from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock or whatever, I'm just going to write down everything I want to do. How many languages I want to speak. What color my car is. You know what I mean? Like, what does it smell like in Rome? You know what I mean? I want to know. I don't know how much is a round trip flight to Italy cost. Am I going to go to South Italy, North? Where do I want to go to that? I was there in 2004, and I'm telling you, the Italian food is not the same. It's different. It's good. I don't know, man. It's just, I just want people to know that, you know, and it's crazy. Like, just go. Even if you go by yourself, you know, have a plan. And that's the thing with writing. You know, it really helped me link up with a lot of writers around the world, and they really showed me love. You know what I mean?
You had the chance to travel, brother. Is there something you could share that stood out, graffiti wise? Like maybe something somebody was using that was out of the ordinary, or a piece that you seen that was different. Is there something you could share with us?
The thing I noticed about Copenhagen, you know, Big Bates, shouts out for being a machine. Like, painting with dudes on that caliber, you step your game up like hopscotch. Like, dude, you know, he's a bigger cat, so we was painting whatever, and you know, 5-color fade, which, wow, okay, 2, 3-color fade, 5-color, you know, everything. Piece was like, the outline was about the size of a pencil. All of his sketch was the size of a pencil. You know what I'm saying? And then his outline was like that too. So, you still there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm missing it. It was breaking up, so I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna fix it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I noticed how serious other writers take painting. You know what I mean? When I went to other countries, like, I realized how serious it is. You know what I mean? Like, these dudes ain't sitting there, and they have wall etiquette. And that's the thing, you know, a lot of cats would be done, faded, you know, and then start messing with us. You know what I mean? But if you're sitting there in an illegal yard, man, you can't be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, you stay focused. Like, when I watched Don paint, you know, I was at work. I punched out. Like, I punched out just to see him paint. You know what I mean? But, yo, he took no breaks. You know what I mean? Like, dudes, when I see cats like that, it's ill. Like, you know, big shouts out to Wheat, you know, big homie, because he really has a good, like, they don't play. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't sitting there chopping it up, memory lane and all that. Like, when you go paint, we're done. When we're done, then we talk. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I was too short. The dude was filling in, you know, my whole top of my piece. I was too. We had no ladder, no bucket, no trash can, nothing. He's like, don't worry about none of that. Blah, blah, blah. I'll do that. Boom. All right, cool. So I fill in all my stuff. Start and it's, you know what I mean? And he's like, I'm like, yo, do I have to do that too? Like, I want that big fun. He's like, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. So, you know, it was mind opening because I had to be in the moment, dude. I couldn't think about, you know, what my kindergarten teacher's last name was. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you have all these distractions going on in your head, but when you're at the wall, it's you, the can, and the wall, and that's it. Like, stop worrying. Like, you guys are running out of daylight. You're potentially doing something that can get you caught. Paint, just paint. Like, stop listening to the wall. You know. So get in, get out.
That's what I personally love, brother, because when it's time to hit the wall and you got the can and the first spray, to me, it's like it activates me being in my own imagination. You know what I mean? Like, just let my mind work.
Exactly.
And that's what I personally love about it, because you get to forget about everything, and all that matters is getting creative.
Yep. Time stops, man. Time stops when you're painting. I hate to say it, man. Like, you'll feel it at the end, but when you're painting, dude, that don't matter. How old you are don't matter. You know, whatever happened to you as a kid and all that stuff don't matter. You know, tomorrow don't matter. Like, when you're at the wall, just focus on that and do that. And that's the reason why, like, you can't go to school for this. You know what I mean? Like, you can go to jail for this, but you can't go to school for this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this has to be passed down. And it's a craft, and we have, as writers, we have an etiquette. We have a code of ethics that we follow that a lot of street arts cats don't. And I'm not hating on street artist cats. I'm just saying they go out and do their thing, but we have a structure that we follow that makes us who we are, that makes us writers. You know what I mean? That's how it is. You know, there's rules to the game, and if you follow those rules, it'll take you far. But if you don't, well, you're gonna have to pay the repercussions on that too, you know. So that's pretty much.
Is there some words that you could give to the new generation that's painting now, or anybody that's listening that's thinking about starting to paint? Is there any words you could share to them?
I would say, seriously, like, have fun doing it. You know what I mean? But have a plan. Enjoy it. You know, 100%. Like, when you're out there being there, be there. When you're in front of that wall painting your piece, be there, because that's you. Everything you do is an expression of who you are. If you whack, it's going to be whack. You know what I'm saying? But if you good and you studied and you did your homework, you know what I mean? Like, it'll come out dope. And that's how it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you have to have a passion for it, and you have to have some structure out there. And that's what it is for these new kids out there. And you see this cat and that cat, you know, and your favorite dude is this dude. Think about, you know, what it took him to get where he has to be. And then you got to do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, don't get distracted. Just do it. Have fun. You know, realize that you're going to be influencing somebody. You know, you're going to be influencing your little brother or your kids or something like that. A lot of cats thinking that they don't matter. You know what I mean? In this world, they're like, oh, if I was gone, nobody would care. That's wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
there's always somebody looking.
There's always somebody that loves you. There's always somebody that you're a part of their life. You're an inspiration. And I mean, and this from Quasar straight up, like, I refer to him as my style grandfather. You know, Quasar said, this is a craft. Like, don't think of it as this or that. This is a craft. It's just like, you know, you're a craftsman and you're, or you're, you know, I don't know, you do woodworking or something like that. You're passing down to a next generation. Like, this has been around forever. It's not. But yeah, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I'm trying to put a lot of hope into the new generation because they're picking up so fast. Like, cats aren't even really learning how to do tags anymore. You know what I'm saying? They're going straight to like burners and 3D pieces and characters and stuff, which is dope because the reference is there. Like, we were only as good as our. So that's kind of how it was. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely.
The last question I got for you, brother, before I let you go, it's a question that I love asking everybody that hops on krylonTalk.
Yeah.
It's my personal question.
All right.
Do you have a favorite sneaker to paint or draw in?
My favorite sneaker, hands up, is an easy question, man. It's the Nike Air Force One. Actually, never
Oh,
mind. Not the
what?
Air Force One. No. It's that one is. I painted on that one. I painted a bunch of Air Force Ones, and they're dope. But the Nike Windrunner is my favorite shoe, like the vintage one with the no toe cap. There's no toe cap on the original one. It was, back when I was a kid, it was a shoe that I felt was unattainable because it was a lot of like gangsters and drug dealers used to run the Windrunner. You know what I mean? They used to cuff their
Yeah.
pants and put the Windrunner on there. And then when I was old enough to afford it, that's the first shoe I bought. Plus, I got a wide foot, so I can't fit the Air Force One. I can only fit the Windrunner or some of the Maxes. Like I really like Maxes though. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
yeah.
Air Maxes and stuff like that. But the Nike Windrunner, I wish, they need to retro that. They need to put it back out without the toe cap. Like, it's my favorite. Yo, B, I tried an art piece one time. Like, I still have one left. You know what I mean? Yeah. And my paint, I mean, I don't know. Like, I like, right now, I can't really afford Belton, but I'm really liking, I'm trying out that AA right now.
Sorry,
I don't know
brother,
if
you
you
were
ever
breaking
tried
up.
it, but
The double A, what was that again? The double A?
yeah. I'm trying out that new AA right now, that AA paint. I think it's out of Greece or something like that. I could be wrong, but I just got it. I haven't even tried. I used one can so far. It's all right. It's pretty good, man. I just got like 120 cans of that stuff. So I got no choice but to use it. You know what I mean? So
I haven't heard about that one yet. I'm gonna try it.
yeah, it
Double
just
A.
came out. There's a cat selling it. I don't know his name, but I tried it right now, and it's pretty good. Like from the test that I did, it worked out pretty good. But All City was my stuff, man. That was my can. I did two signature cans with All City. Big
Oh,
shouts
really?
out to Smooch. Yeah, All City was the deal. I
That's
did two
dope,
cans
man.
for him, and I still got some, man. I still got some, but he's working on the formula again, so he could come back out later. I think he's trying to find a new factory to do it right. So
Hopefully it comes back out. I'll crop one of those, put it in my collection.
yo, man, I still got some. I even got some signed that I
I
signed
mean,
already. I was
if
selling them
you
at the Comic-Con.
if you're willing to sell one, man, I'll crop one,
I
put it in
got
my
you, bro. I got you, man. You got your own videos, man. You got your
collection.
own rap videos, B. Come on, man.
Yeah, man, we're out here just having fun, and it's like I tell everybody, brother, because I mean, I get a lot of support, but at the same time, I get a lot of hate. And me, I do this because it's all I knew, brother. It's all I knew,
Well, you're
and
doing
I just
something
want
right. If you got haters, you're doing something right. You know what I mean? Haters are
and I
just
feel,
your fans, B. Those are your fans in disguise, man. You know what I mean? You bringing out something in them that's just like, you making them bring out that hate. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You only
and
get
also
hated on by cats that ain't doing better than you. If they
and
doing
also,
more than you,
brother,
trust me, they won't hate on you because they know the pain that it takes to doing you. You know what I mean? You
and in
only
my
get
eyes,
hated
brother,
on by people that are doing less.
yeah, you're definitely right, man. I give you a 100 for that. And another thing too, brother, I just feel like the new generation now needs to hear this. They need to hear the
Yeah,
OGs and their word because on my side, brother, no disrespect to anybody, but it's losing balance.
I see you.
It's,
Yeah. It's integrity, and that's what I
yeah,
think is the big thing is integrity. A lot of that's missing. A lot of people got skills and they feel that's enough that they could just really rip on people, but it's not really like that. You got to have integrity, and I think that's what keeps you into your old age and gives you respect within your peers. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
if
definitely.
anybody ever hated on you, those people would look at you like, nah, that dude's word is bond with me. He's got integrity, and that's a word that's not really used nowadays. It's all about flash and, clapping and, you know, getting dollars and all that. Trust me, it's about getting dollars. I understand, make your money, but you know, at the same time, you could do it in more suave ways, you know, and then that's just how it is about maturing. You know what I mean? Get back to the game. If you out there, you know, kind of just you know, taken from the game, it's not good. When it, you know, so when cats hit me up or people that I've, you know, whatever, you know, let's build. But you know, it's all about integrity. So you know,
Oh, brother, and
let's keep
again,
that.
brother,
Let's keep that
it was
100. Big shout to Rubik's, the Kree in the house.
and again, brother, it was a pleasure talking to you today, and I really appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to meeting you when this COVID-19's over.
For real, for real. Wear
I'll
that
take a trip
mask,
down
bro.
there.
Be strong, man. I know a lot of cats, man, think it ain't real, but you know, big shouts to Milo. You know, he lost his pops. You know, and shouts out to the homie Zir, FCTC5 in Buenos Aires, Argentina. You know, they going through it really big down there, and you know, his girl had it. She beat it, thank God. And you know,
Prayers
like
to you.
for real, like there's people I know that really have it, and it's no joke. So, you know, really,
Likewise,
really,
brother.
really, really do that. You know.
Yeah, 'cause we're out here in the harbor area. You ever been out here in the harbor area?
Yo, for real, big shouts out to Cartoon, man. Like that was a big inspiration too. You know, Cartoon is the man. Like I remember being when I first met him, I was 18 years old, and I was at the Risky Studio up in downtown LA, and we were just hanging out. It was Severe and Zodak, and we went to go see him. And I'm Brisk, right? So I'm shook.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this is Big Daddy Risk, and I always tell him, I'm like, yo, that's B Risk, that's Baby Risk, you know, because he's the mayor, you know, up there. And then all of a sudden, I see this. I want to say it was a baby blue 6'4" pull up, and it's nighttime, it's dark, and I'm like, yo, what is this? It was like a straight movie. Downtown LA, chilling with Risk, and then this 6'4", fully juiced with lifestyle plates on it. You know what I mean? And he comes up and just drops it, whap, and gets out, and this dude is Mr. Cartoon. And I was like, yo, that's Mr. Cartoon. Because Risky was doing crazy life at the time, right? He was doing Third Rail, Crazy Life, and I was there with the top to bottom dudes. And I just see him, and I'm just like, yo, that's it. Like, I want to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, I want a 4 or a 3 or, you know, even like a 2. You know what I mean? Because of that. You know, big shouts to Pedro and all that. You know, big shouts out to Woes and all those dudes. I've been there, you know, and they lived there for a while. And it's dope. It's like a little part where, you know, of LA where you still get LA, but then you still have your own uniqueness.
Yeah,
Shouts out to the harbor
I'm located
area.
out here in Dominguez. It's another city in the harbor area, but we're not